So let's start this video off comparing two men, aged 21 and 51, wearing pretty much the same thing, a t-shirt and jeans. Now, in your opinion, which of the two guys looked better? Now, hold that thought. Let's do another comparison. Let's compare a 19-year-old and a 40-year-old, this time dressing up a bit, wearing a suit. Now, assuming all factors being the same except for age, in general, we're going to see that younger men look better in casual clothing, older men look better in dressier clothing. The question, though, is why? And what does it mean to dress your age? Well, gentlemen, that's the subject of today's video as I give you a masterclass on how to dress your age and why it matters. Let's start things off with Michael. He's 27 years old, just graduated business school a while back out of Boston. He now lives over in New Jersey, but he's working in New York and he's starting a new career as a consultant. Personally, he likes to think of himself as a fun guy. He grew up in the Southeast, went to Clemson, been dating the same girl for about 2 to 3 years. They love doing outdoor activities. And really, he's just not a suit and tie kind of guy. As for his body type, well, he's about 5'7", 160 pounds, and muscular. So the question is, how does Michael dress for his age? Well, the answer is relatively easy. He just has to answer 5 simple questions. Question number 1, what's the dress code? Question number 2, what are the societal expectations? Question number 3, what's the weather? Paying attention to your physical environment. Question number 4, what's your body type? And question number 5, what do you want your clothing to express? Now, in Michael's case, he's got a couple dress codes. When he's off work, when he's at home, casual. But whenever he's at work, he's in the office in New York City dealing with high net worth clients, guess what? He's got to dress it up. He's got to look the part of the consultant. Next up, we've got societal expectations. This is what do we expect from a 27-year-old up-and-coming young businessman? Well, again, in the city, they expect them to look the part, to actually wear clothing that fits their body. These are societal expectations for a consultant. Now, if you were working in construction in the same city, are we going to expect you to wear the same type of clothing that a consultant wear? Of course not. But there is a societal expectation for somebody that does high-level thinking work. Next up, his physical environment. He's working indoors, got a white-collar job. This is something where the weather, the temperature is controlled, so most of the time he's expected to wear clothing that, yeah, if it was overly hot outside, he may want to loosen that collar, but probably wearing a necktie or at least wearing a collared shirt is going to be something he wants to do. Next up, body type. He's got a muscular build, so he wants to show that off. He wants to wear clothing that fits his body. Also, when he wears close-fitted clothing that looks good on his body, it makes him look taller. It slims up that silhouette. He also wears shoes with a little bit of a heel. Not that he's got a complex about his height. He just simply likes to be able to look at all of his peers eye to eye. And finally, Michael pays attention to what he wants his clothing to say, how he's going to express himself through what he puts on his body. And he knows he loves bright colors. He likes bringing in some interesting patterns, maybe a floral, not overpowering. He uses it, he layers with it, and he's able to bring it into a relatively conservative environment because he knows how to make it work in his wardrobe. Now, gents, all the clothing you're seeing in today's video can be found over at today's sponsor, John Henric. Gents, I've talked about this company before because I love what they're doing. Just look at the clothing, look at the quality, look at the build, look at the design. I am very particular. You guys know I owned a custom clothier. I'm very careful about what clothing companies I work with. I've got high standards. And when I look at their clothing, I wear their clothing, I am impressed by the quality, by the overall feel, by the drape of the fabric, and their prices. Seriously, gents, I've walked into luxury stores and I've seen the same thing, the same designs selling for 4 to 5 times more. These guys, because they're selling directly to you, and again, I've inspected the quality here of their bags, of their accessories, of their shirts, of their trousers, of their shirt jackets, all the details here. Whenever I look at the build, I look at the quality, I look at the way it works on the body, just the quality of the fabrics and the stitching. Guys, this is a steal. Go over to their website, check out all the options, and they've got tons of them. Oh, and with the temperatures heating up, check out their linen collection. They've got linen shirts, they've got linen trousers. Guys, linen, I've talked about it before, an incredibly versatile and just it allows air basically to flow through it. So if you're in a hot environment, if you're in a humid environment, you need to be looking at linen shirts. And what I love is a long sleeve linen because you can just roll up the sleeves. As a guy with skinny arms, I'll tell you that it just makes me look better. And I love the fact that they've got a great selection. I also love that they have shirt jackets because a lot of you guys are like, okay, how do I layer during the summer summer, during the fall when it's warm. Guys, look at shirt jackets. This is something most guys don't even have it in their closet. This is a jacket made from a shirt material, so relatively lightweight, yet it has the structure and design of a classic jacket. Again, just look at all these different options. This is what I love about this company. Everything on the website is stylish. Now, gents, down in the description of today's video, I'm linking over to John Henric with the best deal you're going to find out there on the web, so use it or lose it. But in addition, I'm going to link to all the products I'm wearing, all the products I'm talking about in today's video. So if you see a shirt you like, you can go over there and get it. Now, I will tell you that they do change things up every single week. So if you see something, you want to grab it because they will go out of stock very quickly. They're very particular about that. Guys, go check them out. Again, all the pieces, they pop up in a lot of my videos. I don't always talk about it, but this is easily one of my favorite brands because of the quality and the value when it comes to price. Again, gents, use that link down in the description of today's video. Get the best deal on the web over at John Henric. This is really a no-brainer. If you're looking to rebuild your wardrobe, check them out. I'm proud to support them. That link down in the description gets you the best deal. Use it or lose it. Next up, let's talk about Sid. He's a 19-year-old student down in Dallas, Texas, and he wants to dress for his age. He wants to understand, what does this mean for me as a teenager? Well, again, let's just ask the same 5 questions. Starting off, first up, what's the dress code? In most situations in Sid's life, it is casual or even ultra casual. In fact, when he goes to school, pretty much people are wearing their pajamas. But here's the thing, Sid has aspirations. He's not only getting a major in business, but also in engineering. This guy wants to change the world. He wants to design apps and he wants to sell them. He wants to be incredibly successful. So Sid's meeting a lot of people that are, just up and coming, successful entrepreneurs, stopping by the campus. So you know what I'm going to recommend for Sid? To step up his style, to make it show that his uniform of the day is a bit dressier than the other student. Why? Because Sid has something that he's going for. And the dress code, even though no one's saying, because you look around, it could be casual, Sid wants to set himself apart so that his professors take notice. Next, societal expectations. What are they? For a 19-year-old, they're relatively low. You've got a lot of leeway here. You can experiment. This is a time to try new things. But if you do dress up, understand, for a lot of society, this is something, it's different. It's not expected. You will have your friends who will be asking you, why are you so dressed up? Why are you wearing, simply even a collared shirt? Everyone else is wearing t-shirts and, they have, jeans and all that stuff. Now, you can dress down, and I'm not saying that that is going to hurt you in most situations, but there are situations that you are going to need to set out of that societal expectation. And that's why dressing up for a younger person is usually very difficult, because everyone around them is so casual. And when they do step it up a bit, they stand apart. When you stand apart, a lot of other people, it makes them uncomfortable. So understand societal expectations. When you want to step up your style as a young man, it's going to actually, some people are going to try to pull you down, but that is expected if you understand that the standard for society is relatively low. Next up, what's the weather? Your physical environment. So in Dallas, Texas, it's dry and hot. Especially during that summer, during that fall, you want to wear clothing that's going to allow the air to go in and out. I talked about linen a little bit earlier. That's a great option. Going for a little bit looser weaves. You still want your clothing to fit. You want it to look good, but you want to maybe go for longer sleeves. Just roll up those sleeves. Go for trousers that are breathable. Find ways that you can still dress up, but you don't have to do over the top. You don't have to go, I'm in Wisconsin. I love these sweater jackets. They're not going to work for everybody though, but you will be able to wear them maybe in the fall. You'll be able to wear them throughout the winter, maybe in the spring, but it is something, if you're going to be spending a lot of time indoors, like most of your classes, you can actually bring something to layer in class. I know it can get cold in there. So pay attention, understand where you're at, but know that, hey, you want to set the tone, because again, if you're going over and doing interviews in the business school, you want to make sure that you've at least got a blazer or even a suit that you can have to step up your game when you need to interview. Next up, let's talk about Sid's body type. He's a tall, skinny guy, and this is something he wants to make sure when he wears clothing that it looks right. Now, you could wear a t-shirt and jeans, but you're going to look lanky. If you actually wear clothing and start to layer it, it's not going to make you necessarily look muscular, but it is going to add a bit of weight and it's going to make you look better proportioned. And finally, Sid needs to answer the question, what does he want his clothing to express? What message does he want it to convey to the world? Well, like I said, he's spending a lot of time over in the boring engineering and business departments. Let's face it, everyone dresses the same over there. He wants to set himself apart from the crowd. So this is where he brings in unique stylistic pieces. He doesn't want to look like an old guy. At the same time, he realizes that classic styles are classic and he can spend a little bit more money on these pieces. He can bring in some fun patterns, bring in some bright colors, all of a sudden, again, he's standing out from the crowd, he's looking good, and he's getting compliments and feeling good about himself. Next up, we've got Miguel, 52 years old, living out in the Los Angeles area, newly single. Now, Miguel's about 5'10", and for the majority of his life, he stayed at about 175 pounds. But about 10 years ago, he had an injury, and he had to stop running, and he gained about 25 pounds, most of which is in the midsection. He's worked in the entertainment industry on and off for the last 15 years, and like I said, he's newly single, and he's starting to date again. So the first question is, what's the dress code? And it may not seem like there's any because the vast majority of the time, Miguel is working from home on his computer. However, he does have Zoom meetings. Once a week, he does go in and see the client that he's engaging with. So he still wants to dress sharp occasionally. And I would even argue he would want to dress sharp more when he's working so that he performs at a higher level. Because the data is very clear, gents. Whenever you dress the part, even if you're at home working, you're going to be more on point, you're going to be more productive when you're working from home. And now let's address societal expectations for men in their 50s. They're definitely higher than for teenagers, but they're not too high, especially here in the United States, which is too bad because I personally think when I see an older guy, this is a guy that we expect to have his life together at this point. This is a man that you want to go to for advice. And I advise you, if you're at this point, to start dressing that part. You may not know, you may still have a lot of things going on in your life that need to be improved, but you want to look the part because when you start dressing up, when you start improving your style, all of a sudden people look to you as a man of respect. Especially, again, for Miguel, he's out there dating. He never knows when he's going to run into just, the next woman that he's going to want to build a relationship with. And it may be something, hey, he wants to look the part, not necessarily of a professor, but look the part of a professional. So whenever he's sharing with somebody his story, whether that be a potential new client, whether that be a potential partner, that they take him seriously. The next question, the weather, your physical environment. Most people think Southern California, sunny, beautiful year-round. Not exactly the case, and it depends on where you live. If you're more inland in the desert area, at night it gets cool, even in that hot summer. And over on the coast, when you're near the water, it gets cool, especially at night. And Southern California during the winter, it actually gets down into the 40s, the 50s. I know, not super cold for you guys up in Canada, but for guys in California, they definitely want to have sweaters. You want to have options. So maybe look at that sweater jacket, look at that shirt jacket, look at layering, such a great option, especially during that time of the year. But this guy right here, Miguel, he really wants to be thinking, hey, I want to have a wardrobe, again, that sends that signal that I am somebody worth talking to. Now let's talk body type. And this one's important for Miguel because like I said, he's got 25 extra pounds around the midsection. This guy was a runner. He doesn't lift weights. His arms are relatively thin. His legs are relatively thin. He wants, though, to build up the shoulders. Anytime you can build up the shoulders, anytime you can slim up the waist, you're going to give a more masculine profile when people see you and they approach you. And it's just something for health. You don't want to have, if you've got that really big in your highlighting, that you've got that big midsection with a t-shirt, that's just not a great look. You want to build up those shoulders. It's going to make you look stronger. It's going to make you look more attractive. It's going to make you look someone that's more confident. Why? Because it looks like you're healthier, and healthy people are assumed to be a bit smarter. Yes, it's unfair, but that is the way it is. So when you layer up, when you just build up those shoulders, when you make those arms, those hands look a little bit larger, this is a great look for you, Miguel, and one that you want to maximize with the right clothing choices. And now let's talk about Miguel's wants. What message does he want his clothing to send? When he walks into a room, he wants to command respect. He wants to look like the guy. He wants to come off as competent. He wants people to trust him and not second guess his judgment and make him do all this work because they don't believe the information he's giving. It's simply people make judgments on you based off of their first impressions, and a negative first impression can really hurt, especially in a professional environment and definitely in a personal engagement when you're trying to get to know somebody. So what does Miguel do? He pays attention to the details. His bags, his accessories, he's really got a nice leather bag because he's always pulling that computer out, whether he's showing a client mock-ups or again, he's just simply, working at a coffee shop and he sees, that cute woman that he's been wanting to talk to for a while. So he wants to send the tone. He pays attention to his accessories, all of his pocket squares, his neckties. He actually wears neckties. Why? Not because he has to, but he wears them because he loves the way that they just bring the whole outfit together, and he chooses a lot of wool and a lot of different varieties. He brings in color with his accessories because he knows it makes him pop and stand out from the crowd. All right, Jen, so what video to watch next? How about the perfect hairstyle for your age? Talked about clothing in today's video. In this video, I talk about the different hairstyles, whether you're 40, whether you're 30, whether you're 20, whether you're in your 50s, you're going to find the right hairstyle for you right here. Come on, click on it. I'm tired of holding it up.